It's less than 14 hours since the last training session. Yesterday's training session was a 5 p.m. 6 p.m. I finished around 6:30, I think, so it must have been a 5 p.m. Something along those lines. And this session that you're seeing now started at 8 a.m. So very quick turnaround, especially after a session like yesterday. Lots of work done. Tried the 180 front squat, failed that, hit the 212.5 kilo back squat. That's a PR. That was a big thing for me. And then I tried to finish it off with a 260 deadlift. I failed that. So 2 fails, 1 hit. In a very kind of quick training session yesterday was. Actually, today's session was also very quick. Today's session was just feeling tired, man. Jelly legs, tight lower back, feeling weak in the core, as you'd expect after a day like yesterday. I had to kind of start earlier today because a whole bunch of things are happening today. So I had to get the training session over and done with quite early. So today was a quick training session. Yesterday was a quick training session, but I'm trying to get through these sessions a bit quicker nowadays. I think especially now since doing this high rep stuff, I feel like I've gotten way fitter, man. I've gotten way fitter than I used to be, and I'm moving through these weights so quickly now. It's literally like the time that it takes me to stop the camera, rejig the camera and put it back on. I'm back, have a drink of water, and I'm back at it again. I don't sit around. I'm standing the whole time, basically training, going through the weights, loading the weights, unloading the weights, all that stuff. That's basically my training period. And I think ever since starting the high rep stuff, I think I've gotten fitter. And also I feel like it's just easier to get through the damn weights, man. Like when you're working with 80-85% weight, you gotta rest because it's a battle. Every rep is a damn battle. You're worried about failing, and you're kind of sitting there for 5 minutes, kind of relaxing, trying to get psyched up for the next set. It just takes so long to do the whole powerlifting 80 or 75 to 85%. It just takes a long time, especially when you're doing 5x5. With this stuff, when I'm working with singles, run up through the weights, when I'm doing this high rep stuff, every rep is not an event. It's the accumulation of reps that are hard to do. And usually you end up doing, like if I'm doing a set of 50 with 60 kilos, it's just one set and then you're done basically. The same with the bodyweight squats, set after set after set. It's not a problem. Like you don't have to psych yourself up. It's just enduring the pain. So it's a completely different kind of shift how you train. Yesterday and today, while I was kind of running through the weights, and then later on watching the footage, I'm like, man, like these people, like I'll do 3 sets by the time somebody's done 1. People are just sitting around, lazing around. And I look at some of these guys that are training around me. You can see that they're not very fit. They're not very conditioned. They're not conditioned people. And I don't know what it is about strength athletes being afraid of condition. You need to have some sort of condition, cardiovascular condition, to be a good lifter. You can't be sitting around, man. You're lifting weights and you're sitting around 5 minutes between sets. It's just, I don't understand. Like if you're greasing the groove and, you're doing the whole Pavel Tsatsouline protocol, you're resting 15 minutes between sets. Man, these training sessions can sometimes take 5 hours. This is why Pavel Tsatsouline, spreads it throughout the day. This is why push-ups and pull-ups make sense more than barbell movements, because you can go about your day, do things around the house and crank these sets out. But having like 5-10 minute breaks in between sessions, barbell sessions, man, it's just, I get in and get out nowadays. And I feel greater, I'm fitter, I feel like I'm in better shape. Yesterday's session, all that work that I did, man, I look back at the time, I'm like, man, I literally did that. I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes I did all of that. So Hindu squats, front squats, back squats, deadlifts, and then some more Hindu squats. I did all of that. It was just like, if you took all of the sets that I did and you divided by the time that I was in the gym, man, it's like 2-minute breaks, man, at best. That's one thing that I've learned. I used to hear Louis Simmons talk about that, quick sessions, smashing through the weights. You're better off using lighter weight and having less of a resting period than just doing high weight. It's just about volume. And one of you guys said it last night in response to yesterday's video. It's just about staying relevant, staying skill ready with these high weights. So, doing your singles every once in a while, and just tonnage accumulation, just volume. the person that does more volume is going to be stronger. That's basically what it comes down to. The whole thing is about volume. This is where high frequency training makes sense in my brain, because instead of doing 20 sets in one session, you can divide those 20 sets throughout 7 days, and you end up doing 3 a day, right? That kind of stuff, right? You're spreading the volume through frequency. Instead of having monster sessions, which are probably going to be ineffective for those later sets because you're just systemically tired. But just getting through that work, this is where I think this high rep business, makes sense, because you're just doing lots and lots of reps. Of course, you need tension. As a strength athlete, we need to get good at handling heavy weights, but we can do that with singles. That's the ultimate specificity when it comes to, barbell lifts, squat, bench, deadlift. If you just handle some sort of single at like 90% every once in a while, like for me, it seems like to be like every day, but if you handle that way, you don't have to put reps in there. Just have a feel of it and then put the reps in at freaking 30%. That's kind of the thing that I've got in my mind right now. Because if you're always in that 80-85%, I've been there, man. I know Smolov, man, how it is, man. You're dreading the next set, man. It's just so freaking heavy, man. You are yawning in between sets because you're systemically just burnt out. Your central nervous system, your CNS is so burnt out. I remember thinking to myself, the hell, man, I'm yawning. After 2 sets of 5x5, I'm yawning. And I'm like, what's going on, man? I used to always find that interesting. What I think is happening is my CNS is so tired from doing this work, but my body is not working hard. The cardiovascular system, it's like weird. Like you're pushing the central nervous system to push really, really hard against this weight, but then you're sitting there for 5-10 minutes in between sets. Why are you sitting so long? Well, when you're 85% of your 1 rep max and you're doing a 5x5, that is excruciatingly heavy work. You need that freaking time to recover. But then your heart rate drops to like resting heart rate. You're basically like asleep. I don't know. It's just a completely different thing. Like I feel so much more healthier, so much more fitter with working with just bodyweight squats, man. Doing a set of 60. You feel alive. The muscles up, the flesh is actually getting perfused with blood. You're actually doing stuff. You feel the muscles working. Of course, I'm about strength. That's always going to be my priority. But I can do that with singles, man. You know what I mean? And now, I'm proving to myself that as long as I practice my sport through singles at 90-95% or whatever, handle some sort of heavy weight, as long as I do that, I don't know, a few times a week, I'm done. I am ready enough. I have freshness with the technique. Let's just put the volume in. Let's get these reps down low, 30%. 30% of my 1 rep max. I'm saying 30%. I don't even know what it's 0%. What are Hindu squats, bodyweight squats? 0%. It's nothing. It's bodyweight stuff. What's 60 kilos? 30%? Is it? 25%, 28%, whatever it is. It's ultra light work. But I feel my quads. I feel my adductors. I feel my glutes. I feel my hip flexors. I feel everything. Everything gets work. But when I'm working with triples, doubles, and singles, all I ever feel, man, is the posterior chain. I never feel my quads do anything. And I feel like the benefit with these high repetitions is I'm getting my quads on the map. My quads are finally getting perfusion. They're getting fatigued. They're getting wasted. And then the following day, a little bit of that gets repaired, and I feel I have more muscle on me. That it's definitely, I'm putting on muscle, and it's also like my brain is kind of discovering where these quads are because I'm perfusing them. There's a pump there. I don't know, man. That's literally what I think is happening, and I have really, really, knock on wood, God bless, everything continues as it is. I'm really optimistic about the next few weeks, man. If you think about it, in the last 7 days, man, I've done 3 PRs. 3 PRs. I hit a 170 front squat. A few days later, I hit 175 front squat. And a few days later, I hit a 212.5 kilo back squat. So what's the trend with that? Well, add 2 or 3 more days, something's going to come up as well if I just continue doing the same thing. You never really know, right? You never know how long the adaptations are going to happen. The likely chance of this thing happening, every single week is probably very, very slim. But I'm going to continue doing, I'm not going to fix anything that's not broken. Right now, I'm in a nice little groove. I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling fresh. My knees are freaking feeling amazing. My hips are feeling amazing. Everything is feeling good. And I'm doing a shit ton of work, man. I'm doing so much damn work. It's like incredible. I'm doing way more work than I'm doing with like 80% work. So compare, let's do 5 by 5 at 85%. That's the kind of stuff I used to back in the day. 5 by 5, 25 reps at 80%. So we're very close to our specificity, right? Very close to the 1 rep max. 80% is a lot closer to 1 rep max than 30% all body weight stuff, right? Very close. But I'm getting 25 repetitions. So compare those reps, okay? Compare that volume with 300 repetitions of body weight squats. What's more beneficial? I have to remind you, the recovery costs of 5 by 5 are very great. You won't be able to come back tomorrow and hit that again. So maybe you can hit that 3 days a week. Okay, so 75 repetitions you would have done in a week, let's say. It's very hard to do that, okay? But let's say you do that. 75 reps. Now let's compare 7 times 300. 2,000. Right? What is it? 2,100? Something like that. 300 a day. What's more beneficial to you? I'm really starting to think about, stuff like, I want to say, I don't know, let's say between 2 reps and 10 reps. I actually thought about this today. I'm thinking about this rep scheme, this rep range as a no man's land. It's a no man's land. The sport is 1 rep. That's what the sport is. It's not 2 reps or 3 reps or 4. That's what it is. We are doing doubles, triples, 5s, 8s, and 10s, 12s. We're doing all of that for volume reasons. We want to get some good quality reps in there to build the strength. That's building strength. Singles are not building strength, right? It's just practicing our sport. But it's freaking heavy. It's high cost because it's very close to our sport. Sets of 30, sets of 50 is so far away from the sport, but it has the most amount of blood, has the most amount of hypertrophy in my experience. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. In my experience, that's where most amount of hypertrophy happens. The joints love it, the tendons and ligaments are swimming, bathing. They are bathing in freaking blood, and your ligaments and your tendons are getting stronger. And I'm thinking back in my mind, maybe that's why I'm getting stronger, because my tendons and ligaments are getting replenished with blood. I'm feeling stronger in the tendons. That's why I'm getting all this strength, because there's nerves everywhere. The nerves are feeling the tendon is weak. Okay, let's deregulate the central nervous system not to deliver as much power, electricity to those muscles. Let's not exhibit as much force because the tendon is kind of iffy. Let's protect it. I'm doing all these high reps now. Lots of blood to these tendons and ligaments, and I'm getting now maybe fatter, stronger ligaments and tendons. And now the body's like, all right, let's auto-regulate that stuff even more. Let's send more electricity. Let's fire up the central nervous system. Let's fire up those wires, those nerves, to give more power into the muscle. Because there's safety now. The tendons are good. The joints are good. Maybe it's a bit of that. But this no man's land that I'm kind of thinking about calling it, it's very expensive, and it's not enough blood. It's not enough blood. That's my experience. I know it sounds crazy, but my experience is 25 repetitions you can't compare, or 75 repetitions you can't compare to damn 2,000. That's what, yeah, of course, it's not very specific to the sport, but I don't care. I need blood. I need blood. I'll get my specificity through the 1 rep maxes and the training maxes that I do daily. That's my practice. Give me some damn blood. Give me some hypertrophy. What did Tom Platz do, man? Breathing squats. Now, he pushed the weight extremely high, but you need to understand he had a very low frequency of training. He trained like once every fortnight or something like that. I don't know. That's too much. The protein synthesis ends after like 2 days. Maybe he could artificially extend it through substance use. But for a natural athlete to squat every 2-3 weeks, it makes no sense to me, man. Your joints are not getting any blood, bro, for 2 weeks. You're getting stronger muscle. Let's say the protein synthesis, you can expand it. But what's happening to those joints? What's happening to the technique? You're not doing anything for it. Anyway. no man's land. I don't want to be there anymore. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Although today I did a 5x5, but not at 80%. I did it, what, like, I don't know, 60%, 50%, whatever the hell it was today. 60%. It's interesting. When it comes to squatting, reps, 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 reps. That's all it is. Get your volume, get your tonnage in, get your volume. Volume. Blood, man. And then everything's feeling good. I'm going to explore this period a lot more. I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing to see where they can take me. But so far the signs are, man, 3 PRs in 1 week. Something is going well, man. Let's just call it that. Thank you guys in the comments. Really appreciate all the discussions. Thank you so much for all the congratulations yesterday. It's awesome to be supported like this. It's really, really cool. Thank you to everyone on the Patreon list. And I'll catch you guys. Tomorrow is going to be a very early session, 4:30 in the morning, before work. So that's going to be a cold morning. Let's see how that goes. But I'll catch you guys then. Peace out.